Well, it's 2 o'clock, everybody. All right. Well, good afternoon. It's good to see all of you again. Good to be in a different location than we normally meet because where we normally meet is all torn apart. Yeah. So a little nicer space maybe, at least for right now. But happy to see you again. Again, my name is Jordan. I'm with C.D. Schmidt, the project manager for all the construction stuff that's going on here. So we're going to do our monthly update here. And then we'll do our quiz at the end, and then we'll open up for questions after that. So we'll get going here. Talk about that. Next presentation is May 19th at 2 o'clock. So make sure you mark that on your calendars. Don't be late. 2 o'clock.
That's when it's all going to be done, right?
Well, it'll be a lot closer to being done than it is right now, for sure. So, all right. So. Schedule, like we've been talking about every month, right? So this past month, we kind of opened up the north part of the commons, that's what we're calling it. So that'd be the club room area here, the library, the front entry, and part of the mailroom, or the mailroom's open as well. It has been open. So we kind of turned that over, opened it up for everybody. We took down that temporary partition that had been up in the hallway for many, many months. So we took that down, everything's kind of opened up now. So the last part of the work that we have to do in that whole space is finish up this hallway work. So that's the flooring and the ceiling work that you see kind of not all in or done yet. So we have started doing some of that work over the past couple of weeks since we took that wall down. Next week you should see, between next week and the week after that, you should see lights going up in that ceiling and us closing that ceiling up, and so it looks more finished than it does right now. Then starting the May 1st, we're going to be working third shift really quietly. And we're going to be putting the flooring down. So we're going to start kind of right in front of the elevators of Bradford. We're going to start here and work our way this way and down this way. So that's going to be I would figure a 3 to 4 week process because of the tile, the pattern we have to put it in, and they have to prep the floor ahead of that. It's going to be many nights of them doing that work. So every day you'll see a little more progress. The first couple of days you probably won't look like they did a lot, but they have to do that floor prep first. So you'll see kind of a gray material over the top of the floor first. Then they have to put what they call a crack isolation membrane down. So that helps with making sure that the tile doesn't crack into pieces when the building moves around, which it does. And then after that, that's when they start putting the tile down and laying it down and grouting it. So, like I said, we're going to be starting here, starting May 1st. And I would say within 3 days, they should be starting to lay the tile and working their way, tying it into the tile that's already there in the front lobby, around that new front desk, and working their way this way. So that's kind of the hallway work. So I would say that's going to take most of the month of May. And so our goal right now is to, by June 1st, or pretty close to that, be pretty much wrapped up with this hallway and hopefully opening up Lindsay Hall and that hallway there as well. So that's the goal. We got a lot of work to do, but we want to turn that back over to all of you because I know how much of inconvenience it's been us working in that area every day. So. And as you've seen, we've put that temporary wall up in the hallway here, so we've closed this hallway off right in front of Lindsay Hall, and we're renovating Lindsay Hall as well. So I'll have a couple of pictures that I'll show you what that looks like so far. And then we're also in the middle of renovating these bathrooms here that are by the elevator. All right, and then water tower. So similar schedule to what we'll be talking about. We're working really hard on that building. And the goal is to be pretty much wrapped up there end of June is what we're shooting for. So that's pretty much been the same as what we've been discussing previous months. So we'll get to some pictures here. So some of the stuff you can see, but just a quick update. So last month, this is what that club room area looked like, and that is as of this morning. I took that picture. So hopefully you've all been able to utilize that space, maybe sit down at the tables. I know they've got some happy hour events coming up here too for that space, so I'm looking forward to seeing all of you in that space and utilizing it like it's supposed to be. The floor outlets, I know there's been lots of questions about that and concerns about that. We're working through a solution still. We found out that these floor outlets, they're kind of old and they don't make them anymore. So we found, I think 3 or 4 of them in California that are getting shipped here. Some replacement ones. They're the only ones left in the entire nation. So we're gonna get those, we're gonna try those out and see if those are slimmer or not as tall as the ones that are in there right now. If that doesn't work, then we've got some other solutions that we're gonna try. So just stay tuned for that. We understand the concern. I think I understand why everybody's concerned about that, and we're trying to figure out a solution that works for everybody. So hopefully next month I'll have a little bit more of an update at that point.
What are you gonna do with the ones in Lindsay Hall?
Lindsay Hall? Great question. Don't have an answer for that right now, but we'll look at that as well and see. It'll be a similar solution. Worst case scenario, we have to cut open that floor and replace it basically, which would be great. But if that's what we have to do to fix it, then that's what we'll do. So.
Where are these that you're talking about?
Yeah, so this one is right in front of the bar area right here, and then there's one right here as well.
What are those?
So they're floor outlets.
Electrical outlet.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
electric.
you can plug something in there if you need to. Yep. And those existed there before, and felt like it was useful to have there. So, and if we find out that we don't need them, well, maybe we could just get rid of them and blank them off, and then it's not a trip hazard anymore.
Send them to California.
Send them back. Yeah, good idea. Sell them on eBay because they don't make any anymore. So, all right. So that's the club room area. Just a couple things. Again, this is all open, but the library area and the front entry area, everybody's seen what people have called the orange brick road or yellow brick road, showing you where to go. As we kind of finish this flooring and work our way down, we'll be taking this flooring or that protection, that orange stuff off as we're going.
And then we'll be at odds, right?
What's that?
We'll be at odds.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, yeah. And just know that as we're working our way down, this hard kind of edge of the tile will be present as we're working our way down the hallway. But every night, we have somebody that's going to be working with the ceramic tile guys that will be providing a ramp onto that so everybody can still walk through that during the day. All right. And then the fireplace for the library, fireplace that goes there, we were supposed to get that this week, so you should see that getting installed here hopefully pretty soon. So that should kind of wrap up that library area and the work that we have in there. Just super quick, I know not everybody maybe cares about this whole lot, but in the water tower, just a couple pictures of the 4th floor. We've got finishes going in, we got flooring going in and cabinetry, so we're working really hard. I didn't have any good pictures of the basement area yet, but next month I'll have some better pictures of our progress in that space. And we're going to start refinishing the pool and getting the fitness area and the salon area walls put up and all that fun stuff. So I'll have some pictures of that area next month. Lindsay Hall. So before picture, that's what it looked like. Everybody remembers that. And this is what it looks like right now, as of this morning. Kind of a mess, but organized chaos is what I like to call it. So we took the ceiling out. We took that old operable partition out. That's gone. We've protected the stained glass. So we put styrofoam and plywood in those openings to make sure we don't damage the stained glass. Tyler and his staff, they took the cross off, so we'll reinstall that when we're done at the end. And like I said, we're shooting for the end of May to get this back open as fast as we can. So really quick turnaround, but it'll have very similar finishes to kind of the other common spaces that you see. Maybe not the same carpet, but a lot of the same paint and ceiling and light fixtures and things like that. So hopefully that's a nice new freshened space for all of you to use when we're done.
How about sound control?
Sound control, as far as what?
Lindsay Hall.
As like the speakers that were in there?
No, I'm talking about,
Sound absorption? Yeah, so I think we had talked about that before, right? So we're putting carpeting back in there, so that'll be similar to what was there, that was carpet. We are putting new ceiling tiles in there, which the newer ones do have a better acoustical property, better than the old ones did, so that should help. And I don't remember if there's any sound boards that are going on the walls at all, but if there are, we'll certainly be installing those as well. So sound's always a tricky thing. You know, sometimes you gotta utilize the space and see how it functions, and there's always things that we can do to deaden it or make it better after that. All right, safety reminder. So we talked about the ceramic tile already a little bit in the hallway, so just a reminder about that. As we're working down that hallway, there's gonna be an edge on the ceramic tile wherever they stop each night, but we're gonna be putting basically kind of a plywood material down, and then that orange mat over the top of that to provide a safe walkway as you all are using that hallway while we're working through there. So just a reminder about that. So please try to stay on the orange mats. That's kind of a safe pathway. So that's part of why we're using it. And then just a reminder about the back fire lane. I don't think I've really seen anybody walk back there, but just another reminder that all the deliveries for the whole facility come through there, and then we do have our forklift here that's running back and forth along with garbage trucks and all sorts of other stuff. So just please try to not use that back fire lane as much as you can. Just don't want anything to happen. So all right, so quiz time. If you had to guess, how many sheets of drywall are needed for the water tower building? So if you remember, water tower, you got 4 floors of units and then the basement. So you said C, okay. C, all right. Any other guesses? Correct. Roughly 10,000. So every time we get a delivery, it's roughly 1,300 to 1,500 sheets of drywall, and those are 4 foot by 8 foot sheets. Very big. So here's a picture of some of our fantastic workers today, actually on the 2nd floor installing drywall. So they work as a pair, as a duo, and they put the sheets up and put the screws in, and away they go. So. Another interesting fact I found out from the foreman today, I asked him how many sheets of drywall one person should be installing every day. Does anybody have any guesses? 50 sheets? You're right on today. He said 50 to 60 sheets is pretty good day. So that is a lot of sheets of drywall that those people have to install every day. So just want to give that, that's our quiz. Just a note about next Friday, we got another big delivery of drywall coming for 1st floor. So especially next Friday, really need to make sure nobody walks through that fire lane, because there's gonna be, if you've seen them, those trucks come in that have the drywall on them, and they got a crane on it basically, and that's how they get all the sheets of drywall on. So next Friday, please try to really not walk through that back fire lane if you can. And that is all that I had for today. So does anybody have any questions? Yes.
Yesterday at 6:21 and today at 6:40. Construction started on water tower and the windows. Yep. And the 2 guys who were less than 6 feet apart sounded like they were shouting across the street. Okay. They did it yesterday, and they did it again today. Okay. And from 9 o'clock on, it's quiet because nobody's out there. Yeah.
I will have a talk with them right after we're done here.
Why can't they do at 6 in the morning what they do at 9?
That's a great question, and I'll find out. You know, we made a commitment, I think, to not start that work till after 7, I think is a city ordinance. I understand that you live in this historic building right next to there, right?
Right across that little.
Yep, so,
when I yell out the window, they stop and look up at me, and sometimes they go back in the building, and sometimes they just go on shouting and hammering.
okay. I will talk to them after this meeting, and I'll see if maybe we, in that area specifically, at least we can make sure to start for sure after 6:30.
And quarter to 7 in the morning is when the hammering and the sawing happens inside.
Yep. Yeah. I will have a discussion with them about that, and we'll try to start that loud work for sure after 7.
Yeah.
But thank you for letting me know. I appreciate that, because we tell people the rules and we try to enforce it, but we have, I think today we had almost 120 workers on site. So we talk to them a lot, and they're supposed to follow those rules, and sometimes they don't. So.
Tell me how I can get in there, and I'll come with my whip.
Okay, that sounds like great. Yeah, sometimes they don't listen to me either, so maybe they need somebody a little more seniority to tell them what's what. So thank you. I'll make sure to talk to them this afternoon. Appreciate it.
So
Yes.
you took out whatever the concrete was where the patios are gonna go.
Yes.
Patch it in with little parts of brick, and it's not very attractive.
Oh,
I
okay.
think they could have done a better design. We could, put some close together and some further apart instead of all those big spaces, front lines.
Yeah, and they're not done quite yet. They've got a bit of work to kind of patch all of that in. So it should kind of match, or it's supposed to match what was there.
Well, because they cut the bricks off short, and
Yep.
that wasn't what was there. There was a big long lintel thing in there.
Right. And a lot of that actually you're not really going to see because the balconies are going to cover a lot of that.
Good.
But
I
yes.
Right now, it's ugly.
Yeah, it's a little unattractive right now, and they do have some more work they need to do in that area before they're kind of wrapped up with that. But you should see the balconies actually getting installed probably in the next couple of weeks. Maybe we'll try to start setting some of them, especially in that first area between Water Tower and Historic. So yeah, you can take a look at them there, and if there's adjustments we need to make, we can certainly look at that.
I still on Juliet balcony. Are they going to be able to walk out on that, or is it just one of those that windows open on the inside and have a gate across?
Yeah, so the Juliet balconies will be the same as what they are right now.
Okay.
So we're replacing the patio doors, but that railing will still be there, and yeah, you'll be able to walk out. That will be an actual balcony. But it's just for those four units.
Yeah, right.
Yep. Right. Any other questions, comments, concerns, things we could do better, or things we could keep doing?
We can get some dirt out there and start planting flowers.
Yes. Well, I met with Tyler and the landscaper actually Wednesday about the courtyard area and getting some stuff planted out there and all that. So we are working on getting that scheduled. So we're not gonna be able to do quite all of the areas because
You can get the first 2 patches done.
Yep.
closest to the-
we're gonna try to get that area kind of closest to where the dining room is. We're gonna get that ready. Maybe get those trees in where we left up those spots in the concrete, and some of those other areas, get those ready. We're not gonna do the stuff that's closest to Water Tower yet because
Yeah,
we have to get a lift back there to replace those windows and do the balconies there, but we're gonna try to get some of that in as soon as we can. So first I gotta get some dirt out there, so I'm working on that.
Good dirt.
Yes, good dirt. Yes. All right, anybody else? Any other questions? All right, well, thank you all for coming today. I appreciate it. I think we had a better turnout today than we did last month, so thank you for coming today. And as always, if you see me walking around and you have a question or a concern, or Pete, if you remember him, feel free to stop us. That's what we're here for. We want to hear from you guys, and if there's anything that could be different or be done differently or better, let us know, and we'll see what we can do. So yes.
I just thought of something. On that little thing the old house that goes into the courtyard and it has that ugly black top.
Yes,
We talked about putting some decorative stones on the top.
yes.
Have you ever seen that done?
It's actually done on the other side, if you look out the window, it's like a colored gravel.
By that
Yeah,
cross.
across the
so,
hallway.
without getting into a lot of detail, so there's kind of two different types of roof. There's a ballasted roof, which has the rocks on it, but that rubber is not glued down. So it's like one way to do it. And then there's a glued down roof type, which is what we have on that little addition. We are talking to the architect and the structural engineer to see if we can put that decorative rock on there. We want to make sure that the roof structure can hold that weight. Even though it doesn't seem like it's a lot, it can be a lot, so we need to make sure that that's the case. Yes?
And I was told by somebody who really knows about this stuff, that you can get these long things of the sedum, and there's not dirt in them. They're very light. If there's something that's not, and they're a lot less heavy than the rocks.
Yep.
And you can just pack those up, and so you'd have a green roof.
Yeah, green roof, yep.
And I think that would be far better than rocks.
Sure.
No, but it isn't rocks, it's little colored pebbles.
Yeah,
And
just
since
something
your
that doesn't look
Thomasita
like.
at Cardinal Stritch used to make really arty figures. That's what I was thinking of.
Yep. Yeah, and even with the green roof thing, there are some design and other things that have to be done to kind of account for that. So I right now, I couldn't tell you if that's the case, but I know we're asking some questions and trying to find out what we can do with that roof to liven it up a little bit, just so it's not just a black roof that you look at. Yeah. We still do have that metal coping piece that has to go on the top of the wall, but that's just a painted piece of metal, so that doesn't going to do a whole lot. So we are looking into some of those options and trying to see what's feasible without making the roof flash. We don't want that. But yes, we're looking at some options, so I appreciate
I'm
the
retired.
other options. We can certainly look at some of that stuff. All right, anybody else? All right. Well,
Are you
thank
going to
you.
do anything with those big white where pipes, where sewage or wherever they are, going down?
In the courtyard?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Tyler was talking to the landscaper about some things to try to either hide that or we're looking at maybe painting them to at least match that brown color, so they're maybe not as noticeable.
And what about the old concrete that's so concrete with a sandblast set or something?
Old concrete.
The whole wall where they took
Up against where the gardening room is.
Yeah.
Again, he was looking at some options to putting some planters there or something that would kind of cover up that area. So, but yeah, we could look at doing something else to make it look a little bit better.
Well, it's a very, pretty.
It's an
corner
old building.
before,
Yeah, and it's old. Yeah, it's an old building too.
Something
But
that
yep.
Bought with a little more.
Yeah, I know Tyler is working on some stuff too that I don't know all the details of, so when he's back, he can maybe fill you in on that a little bit better than I can.
Where's all that junk out here gonna be removed?
Right outside the window here? Well, so we gotta pour a concrete patio there.
Yeah, that's very dangerous, that orange thing, it whips in the wind and
I'm
it's wrapped around my
always
legs and the
fixing
dog.
it.
Yep, so we, I think
They pin it up.
I think
not
they
well.
either re-put it up or maybe took it away, so that wasn't going onto the sidewalk. But I think, oh man, I want to say maybe next week they were looking at pouring that patio finally. So we tried to get it in before winter, and the day we were trying to do it, I think it snowed, and that was the last good day that we had it. So
A couple times a day when I walked, it actually was out in the driveway, and it just wraps around your legs and it's very dangerous.
yeah, well, I think they removed it, but I'll go walk out
I have a
here
lot
afterwards.
for the
And
last couple
So
weeks.
many
Yep.
times.
I will go check that right after this and make sure that that's removed. I believe it was.
More cement.
All right.
All right.
Any other questions?
No, we're done.
Okay, thank you all.
Thank you.
Have a good afternoon.